and welcome back to, welcome to the first ever Klarmann Builds Your Ride, not Heiner Builds Your Ride. So from here on we'll have Ryan here as well.
Hey, how's it going?
And we'll change the build series because I'll be pulling back from this business. So we don't want to call it Heiner Builds Your Ride anymore. We call it Klarmann Builds Your Ride from now on. And surprise, we've got another Sandy Top Troopy that we've kitted out, but this one has got the Klarmann interior in it. So that's the world first. But before we get into too much detail, let's roll the intro. To start it off, we go from the front to the back. Ryan, let us know, what have we done to the front and under bonnet?
So up the front here, we got two 9-inch laser lamp Sentinel Elite spotlights. Down here, we've got a worn winch. And then we've mounted the Selfie aerial at the front here.
Brilliant, mate. These lights are absolutely awesome. Cannot recommend them high enough.
And then over on this side, we've got the Get Home Safe battery option.
And for the Get Home Safe option, as per usual, we got the Red Arc SBI 12 relay down there on a bracket to make sure the solenoid sits upright. And then the whole purpose of that battery is just to be a backup in case the start battery fails or you forget to turn the ignition off or lights or something. You can't start in the morning because you got into the beers a bit too early at camp. You can just jump start yourself off that battery, or in case your alternator fails, you also have the possibility to press a button in the cab, link the batteries together, and you drive off two batteries, which easily gives you 6 to 8 hours driving time with this car just to get back to safety. But the alternator in this shouldn't fail that quickly anyway, because, Ryan, what have we done to the alternator in this thing?
Down over here on this side, we've upgraded the alternator. You can see down there. So down here, we've installed the Rapid Power 250 amp brushless alternator, as well as we've installed the Klarmann upgraded alternator kit with a 250 amp fuse in the middle there on our bracket. Alright, so on this side we got our twin MIDI fuse holder on our Klarmann twin MIDI fuse bracket holder, and then it's powering the spotlights on this fuse, and then this fuse over here is powering our DC hub that's in the back of the car, as well as our winch cable, which is going all the way around to the other side on our isolator here.
Yeah.
The winch.
Yeah, we use a 300 amp isolator for the winch to make sure that this will actually last even if you winch for a very long time. These can take 2000 amp in a rush and 300 amp 24/7 on big copper M12 studs. So these isolators definitely last even if you winch for a very long time. What the customer has also done is he's put a different air box into this and an hydraulic brake booster rather than an air operated brake booster. And we've put a tank underneath, and you've got the water filler right here under the bonnet. That's for tank number 1, but there's another tank with a filler in the back, and we get to that a bit later.
All right, Heiner, so let's head to the back and let's have a look at our new Troopy build.
Can't wait. All right, before we open the back up, I'm not sure if you guys already know, these rear tables here are being made here in town by Mission 4x4. from Sean. Is actually a good friend, and he makes great products, especially for 70 series. So this thing I usually recommend if you have to take a chemical toilet with you. You don't want that in the car. I cannot stress this enough, at least for me that's the case, because if you think about corrugations, bumps, if that chemical toilet has been used for a few days and it explodes in your vehicle, the only sensible thing to do is to burn the whole thing down. You don't want that. Cool thing about this Troopy kit in here is we built in a quick access drawer. So this is one side of it, and you see right here you got access to this, and straight away, without opening the other door, you got a very long drawer here for things that you need to access really quickly. So if you're into photography or something like that, this will always be a good place for your camera equipment. What you've also got is a charging station right here. So you got two 40-volt USBs, 12 volts. You can turn lights on and off, and you got the display of your charging system right here, so that you can see from the outside and from the inside what is actually going on. You can have batteries charging here, and you can plug in an induction cooker. And you can cook outside right here while having all your utensils for cooking there. And you've got your fridge access right here. So awning on top of you, perfect outside kitchen with access to power, light right there. This is the National Lunar light, so you can change it from white to orange. Perfect outdoor kitchen. And you see how quickly you set this up. So you could have your induction cooker in the back there, wherever it is, and boom, I could be cooking already. So, but let's have a look on the inside. So I'm just moving the toilet out of the way. And I reckon I will open this up. Another thing, I haven't seen it yet, the customer has just brought this in. Another little table on the back here. And he said, there you go. That is cool, I quite like that. This is from a company called 70 Off-Road over East. I have not seen their gear before, but I do quite like it. And it fits with our Troopy kit where this sits. You got enough space to still have a little bag here. And then you can have drink water outlet here and air, but there's another 2 air outlets on either side in the front that we get to a bit later. First of all, I'll open the tent up so we get a bit more room. And voila, camp set up, you can go to sleep now. So now that the tent is up, all you need to do on the inside is push this up and you can get into your bed. And if you want to be on the inside, you push this up as well, and now you can stand upright in here. You could almost install a trampoline.
All right, so on this side we got another big, nice, long, deep drawer. Store heaps of stuff in here, like you can already see. Plenty of room for storage. And then just to the side, we've got our travel buddy that you can access from inside and outside. That's real handy.
That's where the roast will be cooking when you're camping, or the pies will be heated up, whatever you're into. Cool, and then you can't see a lot of this right now because everything's already built in, but this box here has got all your plumbing and electric equipment in it. In here we've got an ARB twin piston compressor with an air tank. In this version we've got a Manager 30 in here, and we got a BCDC 1225 core on the front of it. So you get roughly 60 amps charging into a 200 amp hour battery that is in here. You can have a maximum of 400 amp hours in here, and you can, usually we recommend to use a BCDC 1240 and a BCDC 1225D. And we also recommend to use the Touch 50 generally, but we can also build this with a Manager with a Red Vision screen which is an awesome system. I love the red vision screen in conjunction with the Manager 30. Not so much when the switching is included, except for when you use the TVMS Rogue, which is an awesome system too. But in here, what we've done is we've used our Klarmann switch panel with remote controls, and everything is connected to the Egan relay hub, which is mounted inside the electric cabinet. And then another world first on here, we've got the Egan DC hub dual. So you would have never heard of this before, because this is the first time we've installed it. The cool thing about that is you can connect two DC-DC chargers in a very easy way to that DC hub. And that is because there will be a new Manager coming out from Redarc with 100 amp charging capability. So you can connect that to the DC hub dual and use the two inputs and split 50 amp and 50 amp. Or you can build yourself a lot cheaper version of that system by using two BCDC 1250s, connecting them to it, and you get 100 amp charging, given that you've got the alternator upgrade installed to provide all that power. Furthermore, in here we have got a vent panel, because right behind this here is a 2000 watt inverter from Redarc. It sucks in air from the front and pushes the hot air out to the back here. That way we can make sure the inverter is well ventilated. There's also a 10-liter hot water system in this. Yeah, the list just keeps going. Other options for this is that you can put a Victron 3 kVA or 2 kVA multi-plus inverter in, and a solar regulator from Victron for the roof panel. In this instance here, the roof panel is connected through the Manager 30, so you can see your solar production on the screen. But otherwise, if you have a Touch 50 installed here, you can see solar production through its own solar regulator, and we would install the external solar input through the BCDC chargers. That is what we would usually do. And then of course, in here, this is the 72-liter National Luna, but you can put up to a 90-liter National Luna fridge freezer in here, but obviously also smaller things. And then, this is not quite finished. You would usually get a center box in here too, so you can sit here and pull out your table, sit on this. You can also pull these out completely in case you need a chopping board. And then they lock in at the very end. In here, the box that's usually sitting here, you can access either from the front or the back. And for this customer, we made an option that's split in the middle. Open the front bit, open the rear bit for extra storage. And it also makes sure that the fridge stays really tight in its place. In case you've noticed, this floor should look very familiar, because this is also being used in all the Odyssey builds, because Odyssey is actually manufacturing the floor for us for this Troopy kit, because they've got it down pat and the whole kit mounts to a floor plate, and the floor plate mounts to the vehicle. It's also because this enables us to ship this in a shipping crate, because we can bolt the floor plate into the shipping crate and then mount all the cabinetry onto the floor plate, lid on the shipping crate, and off it goes. And the customer has told me that this Troopy kit is more quiet than his timber and carpet Troopy kit that he had in here before. One of the reasons for that would be because nothing is attached to the side walls and all the cabinets are bolted together. So this is one solid piece once it's installed.
Jeez, this is so nice. Got such a good setup. You can eat.
Right, you can eat here, you can work on your computer in here. You can even, and that was actually the plan to build it like this, you can sit 90 degree over the corner. So if you are here with your loved one, you don't have to both stare at a wall. You can actually face each other if you want to.
Play cards.
Put the candle right there. Imagine camping with this, Ryan. Like the setup.
Yeah, so easy, so nice. If it's raining, you won't get wet.
Nah, you can, because once you pull the awning out, you can get in and out in the dry. You can cook in the dry over there, access your fridge and everything. You also got, you know, when this is closed, you got your national lunar lights here that you can use for internal lighting if you want to. Same on that side. You've also got the inbuilt lights here and reading lights up in the tent there. And when it's hot, we've also installed fans here. They work for up in the bed. Ow. So when you're in there, you can have the 2 fans running for extra airflow when it's hot, or when you're sitting down here. And these fans actually put out some proper air. Wicked fans, the Sirocco fan system. And then of course you got all your storage space here. So you got 4 of these drawers for your clothes, extra utensils that you take with you, and they lock closed as well. And what we've also done is we put stainless steel wear plates in here. So where that latches onto the aluminium, you don't have steel going on alley, because that would wear away over time. We pop rivet a little stainless plate in there. So this is actually scraping on stainless steel rather than on alley. So it means this will take ages to wear out. Have you seen the storage underneath here, Ryan?
No, I haven't.
Righty. So have a look here. We've got extra storage space. Hold on a sec, we can actually do that like that. Extra storage space in here. Because underneath here are the batteries. So you got a very shallow drawer here that you can access from the driver's seat. And you can have your inflation gear, your shower hoses and everything stored right in here. And then underneath here, you've got the really big storage area. So you can even chuck chairs and everything in here. There is stacks of storage space in this side.
And then we even got a little hook here so you don't have to hold it.
That's it.
Perfect.
Get what you need and you can close it again. It's really important when you got a Troopy that you have got some room for really big things to store somewhere, because if you haven't got that, it will always lie in the walkway, and then when you want to get in and out of here, you always have to get all your gear out and then back in. Can be a hassle, it's possible, but it's nicer to have it stored somewhere and out of the way if possible.
All right, so let's head outside and I'll show you what's on the roof. So on the roof, there's a 200 amp hour KT solar panel, as well as a GME radio for the 2-way on a swivel bracket. And then we've also got the ARB SAM flag with a light on the top, as well as a laser lamp utility 25 with that amber cover on it. And these give out a lot of light, which will illuminate a big chunk of your campsite all on this side. There it is. So let's head inside now into the cockpit and we'll show you what's in there.
All right, so this is our newest Egan brainchild, the Egan DC Hub Duo. As you can see, it's a bit bigger than the old DC Hub, the normal DC Hub, I would say, not the old one. We will still be doing the other DC Hub, but this will be a product that we'll be releasing in the next half year. And you can have over here 2 start battery inputs separate from each other. So you could be charging from 2 completely separate charging systems. Let's say you're on a boat and you got 2 outboard motors. Each alternator could feed into one of these because they're completely separate on the board. You could even have a 12 volt and a 24 volt alternator feeding into the same circuit board here. And then on this side, you have got 2 extra connectors. So means you have got the DC-DC charger 1 and DC-DC charger 2. And the cool thing is with the Red Arc DC-DC chargers, they can take an input voltage from 9 to 31.5 volt. So it means even if you have got 12 and 24 volt input, they still put out 12 volt, and you can use charging from both of those systems to feed into your 12 volt battery bank. The rest of the DC hub has stayed exactly the same. You still got the 80 amp outlet, the 240 amp outlets and the 1025 amp outlets. But we've made it in a way so it's easier to couple 2 DC-DC chargers together, because these days with big lithium systems, people need more charging capability, and My recommendation for this would be that you use two BCDC 1240s or a 1240 and a 1225, depending on how much alternator capacity you've got. And then you get, with the two 1240s, you get roughly 85 amp charging. With the 1240 and the 1225, you get about 65 amp charging, which is quite a bit. And then, because you've got a water hub system in here as well, you've got your temperature regulating valve right here. You can turn your inverter on and off here. This is to connect your fridge. And also on here, we've got another air outlet from the ARB twin piston compressor tank and drink water outlet on this side, so that when you're cooking in the kitchen, you've got water to wash dishes or, you know, fill your spaghetti pot or whatever you want to do. Ryan, do you want to explain to us what's happening on this side?
Sure. So right here we've got another solar input. So if you got a blanket, you can hook it up to here, put it out in the sun. And then as well, we've got another ARB compressor outlet. And then this outlet is connected to a separate tank. And this one's a grey water one, just for showering. So that side over there is just for your drinking. This side's for your showering.
Yeah, and there's a separate tank just for drink water. And then, like Ryan said, one tank where you can fill up water along the way, just for grey water, just for showering or washing dishes. And that is also the only one that gets hot water to it, so it runs through the temperature regulating valve, while the drink water is always only cold water, because we only got one water heater and we can't have contaminated and non-contaminated water going through the same water heater system. All right, Ryan, now, because for a long time we faced a problem with these Troopy builds, there's new regulations around now, and we cannot put lithium batteries into a habitable space unless they are in a special battery box that's vented to the outside. Ryan, what have we done there?
So we've connected up a bit of PVC pipe, and we've drilled a hole through, connected up the pipe, and then we've drilled another hole through to vent the air out.
Yes, and inside this box here, when you open it up, there's another box in there that's gas tight and sealed. And this plumbing here that we use for water plumbing as well is going to that battery box, and the lithium batteries are contained in that battery compartment in this side here. So this Klarmann Troopy kit is compliant with the new standard, and we've made sure that the lithium batteries are installed in a way that is also compliant with the new standard. So all good there. Please make sure you mention that in the comments when you comment on the video. All right, Ryan, let's put the seats back and explain the cockpit.
Sounds good.
Let's have a look at what's going on in there. Alrighty, Ryan, what's going on in here?
All right, so yeah, right here we got the PVS replacement switch panel with all our lights. So we got our work lights here. We got a water heater, got a water pump, air compressor, another water pump, as well as our GME XRS 370 with our handheld right here on a magnetic base. As well on here we got the battery link switch for the Get Home Safe battery to link them together. And then we have 3 USBs, one here, one at the top, and then another one on that side.
Right there. And then also in here we've got our reverse mirror camera, and the camera itself is on the rear window connected to this. And as soon as you turn accessories on, this whole screen comes up and it's like looking out of the rear window. So you don't have to worry about all the stuff that's in the way in the back. You can look past it with the camera that's looking out the rear of your car.
And then up the top here we got 2 Hella Flexi lights, and they're multicolour, so you got white, they're dimmable as well, and then you also got red.
I love those things, especially when you're driving and your passenger has to find something on a map or something like that and it's dark. You can quite easily see everything here, but it's not blinding the driver who wants to see properly out of the window. It's a perfect spot to install these. And also, like I said, we've got a remote control, so you can see when I turn a light on, you also get control lights coming on the panel there. And you've also got the option we call number 4 the panic button. All lights come on at the same time. And just in case you forget to turn them off when you start driving, you can still see here on your control lights that your lights are on. So this function is usually good. If you're up in your bed, take the remote controls with you, you get spooked at night because you hear something around your car, you press the button, boom, and it's daylight 360 degree around your car. Cool, I think that only leaves us with one thing to do, our patch of approval. Alrighty, Ryan, here you go. This is your line from now on.
So now this car's ready to drive anywhere.
Nice one, Mike, you got it. Let's get out of here, even though I would like to drive away with it. Now, go camping.